Hello, everyone. Hello, powerful people. My apologies for my tardiness. I was having some big technical difficulties, and such is the day. I have arrived, and I'm so grateful to be here with all of you. You are tuning in to the Beyond Karma show here on Beyond Mystic with myself, Crystal Yardley. We are being broadcasted on YouTube, Rumble, and X channels. How exciting. Welcome, everyone. Tara, Tracy, Tara by Lupo. Hello, hello. Looking forward to this show. Welcome, early morn. So nice to see you all. Woohoo! Beautiful woo-woo family. Oh, yeah, thanks, Tara by Lupo. Loved watching you and your mom. Yeah, on the Shelley Ardley YouTube channel tonight. Different time zone for Tara by Lupo, always on a different channel. Blessings from Asa and Alicia. Blessings back to you always. Always. Beautiful to see so many familiar faces, and I feel right at home with all of you. And I see that many of you are regulars and have been tuning in before. We've got some questions already coming up. And before we dive into that, I'm just going to speak a little bit to the show. This is a show where sometimes we speak to karma. As you can see, it's called Beyond Karma. This is a show where I am coming on to happily answer many of your personal questions. There are shows here on Beyond Mystic where we look at a lot of aspects of what's going on in the world and how that is affecting us. And I tend to come on and tune in a little bit with some of the more personal aspects of what is going on in our day-to-day lives and how that's affecting us. Although I'm happy to answer anything that you bring to the table. It's been a bit of a crazy day. There's been lots happening. Wow, this Libra new moon came in on the high tides of justice, I tell you. So I don't have any good news prepared for you today. And I wanted to speak just a little bit to that before we begin and before we dive into questions. And greetings from Texas. Woohoo, yeehaw. Thank you for being here. And I wanted to just speak to you a little bit about the good news portion, because I love that you love the good news and I love to bring it to all of you. However, I am finding that I'm having a bit of a challenge finding the most appropriate good news stories that aren't going to seem that aren't going to get attacked in one way or another by our crew and our community. So I'm really kind of curious as to what sort of topics or good news realities our community and our crew would like me to focus on. When I dive into a lot of good news channels or good news sources, it's a lot to do with environment, it's a lot to do with animals, and sometimes I find it hard to find stuff that doesn't seem like we're going to get maybe a bit of backlash on it. Maybe it'll be a bit woke, or maybe it will be that there is a bit of a hidden agenda to it. So I would really love to hear. Oh, I see yep, the technical difficulties. 'Tis the day. High energies. Please write in the comments, and I'm going to go back and review anybody that has any suggestions of what sort of topics they would love to see some good news covered on. And if you have any suggestions to any sites that you might tune in with, or any places where you have seen some really cool things happening, please let me know. Put it in the comments, and just thank you for being here and continuing to tune in with me. And I promise I will continue to bring you good news segments when I find them and they feel appropriate. I just may not have them for every show if I'm not able to find the most high quality ones around. So that being said, let's dive into a couple of the first upcoming questions, and then I might have a couple more things to say and to share with you all. So Tracy. Hello, Crystal. I moved here when the COVID crap started. When the COVID crap started. Am I supposed to be here? It hasn't been easy, but it's been interesting. Yes. Okay. Hasn't been easy, but it's been interesting. Let me pull up my cards. And let's give me one moment. I'm just going to speak to this and then I'll come right back to you, Tracy. The reason why I had sent the question earlier about when is the government shutdown going to end is because my husband is a federal worker. Absolutely. And you know what? I do have that question starred here to answer. I promise I'll get to it. And thank you for clarifying that. Perfect. Now, yeah, it somehow ended up below Tracy's, but we'll answer that next, okay? I'm gonna get myself looking a little bigger here. How is everybody doing on this Libra new moon? How are we all feeling? It's been a very potent day here in my home with me and my family. Lots of big energies swirling around. Lots of big energies swirling around. Okay, so we're focusing all together here on Tracy. When I moved here, yeah, am I supposed to be here? Tracy, if you could tell me where you moved to, I'd be curious. It sometimes helps me to tune in with you. It sometimes helps me to tune in with you when I know a location that you're tuning in from. I'm curious, Tracy, when you moved, was there Black River, Madison, Ontario? Okay. In the wilderness. Oh, how beautiful. I'm curious, when you went there, was that with a partnership? It looks like this was a mutual decision. And then things I see have weighed heavy on you since you've been there. And it's almost as though you're in a bit of a holding pattern at the moment. So let's have a look at how you can navigate your way through that and how long you might be able to expect this being on hold in a way to stick around. Just me and my horses and dogs. Okay, let's have a look here. So something may actually come out of the blue for you here. This might be a bit of what this holding pattern per se might be about. Let me get my camera up a little bit for you. may be about. There's some new energy that's coming through that you have been cultivating and working on. Uh, it feels as though there's a new part of you that is coming through now that is feeling pretty fierce about making a move in a new direction. However, this fellow seems to be really fighting something from the past. So I'm wondering if there is anything in your past, especially with this partnership card that came up here, that you were in some way trying to get away from, which could be also something to do with, as you said, moving during this COVID crap. And am I supposed to be here? I feel like a certain part of you may be upgrading into what exactly you're meant to be doing from that place. I don't see a yes or no to, are you supposed to be on that land? It's almost as though something may come up for you to have to look at, or that may be frustrating for you in some way. So let's look one more thing. We'll pull a few more cards for you here as to, okay. So it's interesting, we've got the Fool and the Hangman here. So it's almost as though I'm not supposed to tell you the answer to whether you're supposed to be there, but what I am here to acknowledge for you is that although you say the journey hasn't been easy, but it's been interesting, I can see that, and it's almost as though it's brought forth this sort of inner wild energy in you. And now you're looking to, if I'm meant to remain here, can this be a launch pad for me to bring who I've become out into the world? It's almost as though over the last 5 years, I'm seeing that the battle that's been happening over the last 5 years is coming to an end for you, and that there's going to be some opportunities coming your way. You see how this is a lot of blue and kind of a lot of heaviness? We're moving towards a lot of the golden lightness here. So there's going to be a new journey beginning for you, and a new part of yourself that's stepping forward. And I feel that this year is going to be a completion of some of those aspects that have been more challenging where you are. So it's not necessarily about where you are and where you're living, it's about who you've become through that and how you're now bringing that out into the world and sharing that with the world. So although I may not be able to give you the clear question as to, are you supposed to be there? What you're meant to know is that who you are becoming because of this experience is what you're now sharing with the world. And there may be some opportunities coming your way to get out there and have some different experiences, with this home base being your landing pad and your launch pad. Hope that makes sense for you. Okay. Perfect. Got a couple more questions popping up, and here we go, Tara. We're going to hop right into yours today. Can you ask when the government shutdown will end in the USA? Okay. And you had said also, Tara, that your husband is working for, oh, I see some more stuff from Tracy here. Give me just one sec. Okay. Sorry for the pauses, everyone. I get all of you are so good in the chatting, and I lose some of my spots. But here we are. Your husband is working in the government, and that is why you're asking this question. So let me tune in. Government shutdown. When will the government shutdown in the USA end? Aha. All right. So this is great. I do see that although there may not be an end, I do see that much has actually been brought forward with this shutdown. It was necessary. It definitely was necessary, and it's been. I see that it's still going to be. Damn, she's good. I see that it's still going to be perhaps a bit of a longer journey. However, that being said, I feel as though your husband is actually very well positioned to be able to navigate from this point forward. We have almost where this period has been an opportunity for your husband to, and for both of you, say, to, but particularly your husband, to do some deeper internal personal contemplation as to when this ends or what's going to happen next, who he's going to be in that, and how that may affect choices going forward. Because actually it looks as though over the next 6 weeks to 6 months there's going to be a lot of little wins. So it may not come back in full force. It may come back in one decision at a time, or multiple little wins, sort of one after the other, where it's not just one blanketed the ending of the shutdown, but where it's like this opens back up and then that opens back up. And certain people, it may be that your husband is able to get back to work, maybe just not full steam in the way that he was before, but in a good way. That's almost as though it feels more long-term sustainable for him and the both of you. And again, this has been an important time in the present right now to make sure that you're showing up in the best way for yourselves, and to just see if there's any sort of internal contemplation that needs to happen about how your husband is interacting with this position with the government. But I do see this moving in a good direction and cause for celebration, and that there is going to be slow and steady progression coming back online here. Okay, Tara. Yeah. gonna pop back over to some comments here. Yes, he truly is sitting well. His other friends are not sitting well. Neat. How exciting. Thank you so much for looking at it. My absolute pleasure. Always. Thank you for being here. Thank you for bringing your questions. And I wish him all the best going forward. And you could see there, right, with the Emperor and the Knight of Pentacles, that he is well poised to continue this progression and to really be able to feel good in himself where he's coming from. And I know that it is tough for his other friends, understandably so. Yeah, the normie liberal governments are probably, employees are probably not doing very well. Yes. And there's a lot of upheaval here in Canada with a lot of employees that are working for our system right now. So we wish them all the very best and hope that there is true success in the fight to have better. Yeah. To the fight for our voices to be heard. Yeah. You're most welcome, Tracy. Yeah. So happy to hear that. That sounds exciting. I agree. Well done. Okay. Perfect. Lupo, doing great. So good to hear that. So good to hear that. Okay, let's get back to some questions here. Will my subcontractors get their work done in time so I can move into my new home this November? Well, Murdoch 007, our prayers are with you that happens. Now, your subcontractors get their work done on time so you can move into your new home this November. Love it. Let's have a look at that. How exciting for a move into your new home. Wonderful. Contractors, subcontractors, contractors can be so interesting to work with, right? Almost always can expect for it to take longer than you had hoped. Okay. Yeah. Find my right camera here. Wow. So it may be within, I'd say within the next 8 weeks, you're probably fully able to move to, like, feeling a lot more settled, and that this is interesting down the center here with this Queen of Pentacles, Temperance, and the Lover's card. I feel that this home, this new home, and the work that's been done on it has been quite an upgrade for you. And you've really, I feel, chosen well with who you've gotten to do the work and how the work is coming along. And you may find that over there that you might have a little bit of, it might feel a little chaotic still for the next 5 weeks. But then by the 6th week, you're in. So, and I feel that certainly you'll be settled in there by December. And it almost feels as though there's some sort of, with this Eight of Cups here, the you being on hold, being able to get in there is just waiting for the right time for the energy to be completely aligned in you and in your home. So just to trust the timing of it, not to rush it, and that it might feel a little chaotic for the next 5 weeks, but that you'll really be by 6 weeks feeling that you're heading in the right direction, and that there's you're able to actually move forward. And this is going to be taking you in what looks like a very exciting direction, lots of healing. So the renos have moved some stuff in the home, which I feel has been a very good investment. This is you investing in that space. And then it's almost as though the renovations have been more than just a surface upgrade, but actually healing some of the aspects of the energy of the home. And so going forward, it's going to be an exciting journey, I feel, for you. And that you are really, I'd say it's going to also be a lot about your intention. It's going to be a lot about your intention and saying that this is, you will be in there by at least the end of November. Okay. I wish you all the best with your move. That looks fantastic. Yeah, you're welcome. I look forward to you popping on and celebrating with you that you're all settled in and that all went well. Please let us know how it goes. Yeah. I'm going to take a pause here at halftime. Remind you that you are all watching the Beyond Karma show. Love it. And we have a couple of promotions going on. Ascension Argonites, crystal grid sets, crystal collections handpicked for your every intention. Beautiful. Look at that. Use coupon code Beyond Mystic for 10% off when you visit Ascension Argonites. Those are stunning crystals. And so excited to share this one. Look at this, Past Lives and Our Ancestors Workshop, Part 2. How many of you took Part 1? Absolutely love seeing Janine and my mom working together. My mom is Shelley Yardley, if any of you don't know by now. And they are such a powerhouse of a duo when they get together. And I was there for some of the filming of it, and this promises to be a fantastic workshop. They were really on fire for this one. So past life stuff, I love it too. Save 10% with code PAST10. Beautiful. Look at that picture of them too. Such beauties. Such beauties. Love it. Here we are back. And I finally figured some work to be done. Okay. Tuning back in here. Before I get back to that, at this halftime, I also just wanted to take a moment to, Cassandra here says, tune in with your comments. Cassandra says, yes, I should, but we got sprayed with chemtrails at the weekend, so been a little bit under the weather today. Sorry to hear that. I wonder how, the chemtrails affect all of you. We tend to notice them not necessarily day of, but seems to be a day or two after that we can feel really off, like taste, smell, digestion, and we can kind of trace it back to, oh, there was that day when they were just crisscross and flying everywhere, right? Big stuff. Big stuff. Yeah. Thank you all for your patience with me today. I am here, but a little bit tender. So thank you for just rolling with me. Rolling with me. Okay. Oh, Lakeview, Victoria. My son's getting married in Cancun, Mexico at the end of November. Can you please have a look at the overall energy of this trip? First time in Mexico and first time at a resort. For you? Cool. That's exciting. Congratulations to your son and his beautiful fiance. Always love to celebrate love. And that is another focus that I wanted this show to be about. And I didn't get it all together for today. And yet we are in a pretty powerful, and I have 333 people tuning in right now. So we are at a pretty powerful portal of relationship and partnership and justice and karmic contracts and relationship on today of all days. So I have really been tuning into what does that mean for many of us, and not just our romantic partnerships, but our partnerships with our families, with our work, with the closest people in our lives. I'm going to shuffle on that a little bit more. Stop talking. Okay, Lakeview, Victoria, son getting married in Cancun. Let's have a look at the overall energy of this wedding in wonderful Mexico. Ooh, I'm excited. Well, starting off real good. I almost don't want to pull anymore. I will. But let's just start there. 10 of Cups. Look at this view, Lakeview, Laura. Doesn't get any better than that, right? All of this beautiful, big, celebratory energy. And what a completion of the engagement cycle and a stepping into the celebration of what comes in the next part of this journey from this incredible jumping off place. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that because I really do feel that this is the energy that is coming in for you. We also have the Strength card coming in here. This is a beautiful match. And for you, a powerful time for you to see parts of yourself coming forward, for you to see who you are as the mama and how you can show up. Although this is your first time for this trip and first time at a resort, that you have all of the strength required to make the trip and to have a really beautiful time there. That's so nice to see. So nice to see. And sometimes we don't need more than one card or two. When my mom and I decided to move to Kamloops a few years ago, it was a spur of the moment sort of decision, and we went on this big hike, and we were saying, okay, let's do some cards up on this hike and really tune in with it. And we were sitting there and shuffling, and it was kind of like we both tuned into Kamloops and kind of sat really upright all of a sudden, and this card flew out. This 10 of Cups card flew out, and we both said, that's all we need to know. And we made the decision right then and there to decide to move in together for another period of time and to make that happen. So how exciting for you, and blessings to your son. Suzanne says, Mexico is the best surprise holiday ever. So amazing in every way. Sayulita is the coolest place on earth. Wow. So good to hear. Yeah. That's the most perfect card for this occasion, isn't it? That's why I stopped there. It's like, you don't even need to know anymore. That's exactly it. 10 of Cups and 2 kids in the card. Yay. Yeah. Sunshine, thanks for being here. I was got to come check you out. What is the energy for today that we can all benefit from? I'm going to pull one card on that, and then I'm going to get back to everybody's questions that we have coming on up. Star that one there. What is the energy for today? I'm going to pull a card on that. Everybody, tune in with me now. What is the energy for today? What do we need to know? Let's make that bigger so that we can. The energy for today, and this is really interesting. This came up for today earlier. So this fellow is really being called to have a look at strategizing going forward from this time forward. And he's having to strategize because he's kind of looking back and he's going, well, I can't carry all of the swords that, I can't carry all of my thoughts and my possibilities and all of who I've been forward. So I really need to strategize here what I'm okay with leaving behind and what will really serve me moving forward. So we're being invited into, 7s are a bit of a pause and a spiritual number as well. So we're really being invited into today to assess, as we move forward, what can we leave in our past? Now, it's interesting here. I'm going to point this out because I'm just kind of noticing this. So he is actually walking towards the past, which is back here, and he's looking to the future. So check this out. He's actually carrying 5 swords out of the picture, and he's going, you know what? I don't need this anymore. 5. I don't need this anymore. He's like, those 2 are upright, strong, and I feel that that's all I'm going to need. So we may actually need less of our past selves than we think. So let's just consider that. Is it possible to even let go of? And I feel let go of a certain amount of the idea. And I heard that about this new moon in particular, let go of a certain amount of the idea of who we thought we were going to be by this time in life, who we hoped we would be by this time in the year, how we thought that life was going to, or we prayed that life was going to go for us. And this can be about some of those really prominent narratives that have been running in our minds. How can we unload some of that? Okay. Yeah, and he's not looking where he's going to the past, right? He's just kind of being like, let's just offload these. And all I need to focus on is where I am going in the future, and to just be done with this. That has been weighing me down. Enough of it. Okay, love it. Perfect. Thank you, Kremos. Will the monthly Social Security benefit checks be increased for non-government retirees soon? Kremos, can I ask you, please, where you are tuning in from, so that I may just be able to tune in a little bit closer to your vicinity, because that's pretty broad spectrum for me in terms of monthly Social Security benefit checks. I'm going to come back to your question if you just let me know in the comments, general area, even Canada or the US or region that you're tuning in from, please. I'm going to answer this one, and then I'm going to come right back to you. Should I sell my house in North Carolina and move to Virginia to be closer to my son? If so, will I get a good price for my house? Thank you. Such a big joy to be closer to our families, right? We always, I always encourage people to, if they get that opportunity, to make that happen as much as possible, particularly if your heart is being called in that direction. So let's look at, should I sell my house in North Carolina and move to Virginia? Nope, it's wanting me to shuffle a little bit more. Good to know. And Kramos, I see your comment, and I will come back to it. Thank you. I see your location now. It's always a dynamic experience to be tuning in with one of you, and also paying attention to the comments and channeling as well. So all of you are here helping me expand that bandwidth of capacity to be able to do so. I love it. Again, with the 10 of Cups. I'm gonna pull a couple more there. This looks good. This looks like there's been a lot of great experiences in your home, and that it's also a completion of a cycle, right? So it feels as though you're ready to move in a new direction, and it's going to be something about really setting it up in a way that feels of the highest good for you. It's kind of having some real clear communication about what this move could look like, and how this sort of being closer with your son, how that's going to feel for everyone. And it's almost as though you are really speaking out into the universe what you want that experience to look like and feel like, and you have the potential to really make it happen. And with this Page of Cups here, it's a really nice new beginning for you. It is really, I feel, going to bring this sort of more, a bit of a light-hearted, more playful, curious part of you forward. And the pages are also a new beginning, new directional card. So that looks great. Yeah. Okay, so again, with a yes, an ace would be your yes card. And moving through a gateway, it may take a little bit of time. You might end up going and moving to one location there and then maybe getting something else once you've arrived and stayed there for after a couple of years. So don't be deterred. Deterred? Don't be deterred. Don't worry if you don't find the most ideal home right off the bat. Let it be what it is. Let it come to you. It's going to be a really beautiful new beginning for you. And I feel like it's going to really light your heart up in a new way. And so that being said, I just see that there is the possibility you might even have two homes to choose from there, or you might move into one and then move into something more longer term a couple of years down the road. But the move looks like a great plan. Okay. Congratulations. That is exciting to hear. Yes. Exciting to hear. I'm going to come back to this question here. And I saw that California is where you are. Thank you. Will the monthly Social Security benefit checks be increased for non-government retirees soon? Oh, the sun just came out. That's a good sign. Well, yes, look at that, hey? Check this out. Check it out, everybody. So, you know, what has worked in the past came to a place that was what felt like enough in the past is no longer serving, and people have been struggling with that in the present here. We've got the Four of Swords, and yet we have a secondary four that is actually really celebratory and feels like the new enough. Okay, so I do see that we are increasing because we've gone from a 3 to 2 4s. So there's going, and 4s are all about stabilization, or yeah, 4s are foundational and they're all about stabilization. And so this needed to be brought into question, and there's been some almost like a waiting period, and we are definitely heading in a new direction where there is going to be the new enough. And both of these cards are celebratory. So it says to me that this feels like there is move in a good direction. Okay. And that there will be enough for retirees to live out your life in a feeling safe and secure and foundational. Now, there are multiple pillars here that make that the case as well. And so for us to really, this is also a very community oriented card. So it's going to also be working with the support of other people in the community. So maybe it's not just about money. Maybe it's also about lifestyle, other types of resources that become available for you as well. Okay. So, pardon me. Yes, you're most welcome. That looks like a great outcome here. Great outcome. Oh, yeah, I'm sure being close to your son will be priceless. Absolutely, right? Oh, DP, you are most welcome. Blessings on your move. Yeah. Thank you very much. I love the energy that all of you bring. And I really also appreciate you continuing to be here and you continuing to tune in with me as I get more and more comfortable with answering your questions, with sharing this space and time with you, and really getting the opportunity to dive in. We're going to take one more before I sign off. Let's ask this for the collective. Am I finally free, or is there more work to be done? Let's check it out. Give me one sec here. Am I finally free, or is there more work to be done? What do you think the answer to that question is? Are we ever really finally free? I guess it depends on what you're asking to be free from. The distance in your eyes. What might you be asking to be free from? The distance in your eyes. Are you finally free, or is there more work to be done? Okay. Now again, the distance in your eyes, I don't necessarily see, let me see here, have you commented anything else? I see that you have gone through a gateway, and that this path has been a step-by-step journey for you, that it may have felt a little slower than you might have liked it to feel, and that there might be some sort of official closing that needs to happen for you to be complete. Now, I would, if I didn't know you, I would say this to me would be, well, I don't know you. I would say this to me would be something like a divorce, or signing some sort of like a sign off on a house or an agreement, and that this is an opportunity for you to upgrade your systems. Okay, so the work that may need to be done is almost as though maybe you're ready for some higher education, some higher learning, or for you to step into a completion of a contract. I don't know that you're necessarily writing the contract. It doesn't look like an energetic or a spiritual contract. So it's almost as though there is the ask for something physical to be completed, to be signed off on, or you're stepping into, now you're ready for higher levels of learning, higher levels of education, and to up level your life, to integrate onto completely new systems from this foundational place that you've stepped through, from this gateway that you've stepped through. More confident in yourself with a show alone than with you have. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to speak to that really quickly. And actually, the confidence piece is, I want to say that I have a lot of respect and admiration and care for my mom as a wisdom keeper and as my elder, and that I will often hand the floor over to her to speak to first, because I do really appreciate her perspectives. And so there is a part of me that does sort of revert back to taking that back seat sometimes. And we also are often speaking to, on our show or when we're working together, we are speaking to things that are more relevant to the bigger picture of things, or to a matter that mom may have some more comfort or knowledge speaking about than I feel that I do in that moment. That's why I have tuned into having the request of having this show for myself, because I'm really, I really get to shine when I work with interpersonal realities and get to work more one-on-one with all of you and get to cover topics that are more on a personal level. So thank you for noticing that, and thank you for speaking to it, because I would agree that sometimes I do hold my tongue or take a back seat, and a lot of that has to do with respect and admiration to what my mom is speaking to in those moments. Thank you, Crystal. You definitely radiate a beautiful energy. Thank you. Lakeview, Laura. Lakeview, Victoria. Right back at you. Right back at you. Yeah. Look, just like that, we're at the end. I started a couple of minutes late, and I apologize to that. It has been such a pleasure to tune in with you today. And I look forward to bringing more questions next week. I didn't quite get to everyone today. And as I said, please now, I'm going to go back and review a little bit to see if anybody dropped in. I think that a John Dizzle dropped something about good news that I could check out. But please, if you have any suggestions of news that you might want me to cover, or places that I could go and research about some great topics that I can speak to on this show, I would love your support in that, because I do really want to be bringing you good news, although I love also being in celebration of diving into your personal realities and being able to answer some questions with you when everybody is able to bring their energies in to support these topics as we take one of you at a time, right? Love right back to you. The show has a nice, easy energy. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And that is the end of the show. Again, please like, share, and subscribe to the Beyond Mystic YouTube, X, and Rumble channels, depending on where you're tuning in. Oh, I love hearing that. Thank you again for looking into it. You have me more hope and excitement. Perfect. Perfect. We all need a little of that, don't we? We all need a little of that in our lives. Until next week, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you again every Tuesday for the Beyond Karma Show and Beyond Mystic.